You know, one big surprise to me about getting older wasn't retirement, it wasn't the wrinkles, it wasn't slowing down. It wasn't even realizing that I make noises every time I stand up. The biggest surprise was realizing that somewhere along the way, I stopped worrying so much about what everybody thought. There wasn't a specific moment. I just realized one day that I truly didn't care what people thought of me anymore. It wasn't dramatic. Nobody said anything to me. Nobody gave me permission. I didn't wake up on my 65th birthday and suddenly become fearless. It was much quieter than that. One day I caught myself making a decision, and for the first time, I never stopped to wonder what anybody else would think. I remember realizing afterward, well, that's new. And honestly, it felt like freedom. Not because my life had become easier, because it hadn't. Because I finally understood what truly mattered. That may have been one of the greatest gifts getting older has ever given me. Welcome back to Retirement Reality Check. I'm Diane. This channel is more than retirement. It's about the things nobody prepares us for, the emotional side, the funny side, and sometimes the surprisingly beautiful side of growing older. When I was younger, I spent a lot of energy trying to keep up appearances. I was always worried about what people thought of my clothes, whether people liked me, whether I looked successful, whether I actually was successful. I wasn't the smartest person in the room, so I tried to make up for it with hard work. And if you know me, you know I still believe in hard work. But if I could sit down with 35-year-old me today, I'd tell her something completely different. I'd say, stop, just stop for a minute. Quiet your mind. Look around. Think about what has actually mattered in your life up to this very moment. Was it keeping up appearances? Or was it the afternoon you laughed so hard with a friend that your stomach started to hurt? Was it another promotion? Or was it sitting on the porch with someone you loved, talking about absolutely nothing? I've come to realize the ordinary moments become the extraordinary memories. And here's something else I've learned. I don't think getting older changes us. I think life changes us. Life has a way of covering us up with responsibilities, heartbreak, careers, bills, loss, expectations. And little by little, they pile on top of the person we used to be. But then something remarkable happens. We retire, or we slow down, or life finally gets quiet enough that we meet the person again that we used to be. And sometimes they're still there, a little bruised, a little wiser, a few more scars, but still unmistakably us. But here's what I've discovered. The person we were when we were 20 isn't really gone. Life just got loud. We spent decades raising families, building careers, paying bills, trying to make everybody happy, trying to fit into places that never really fit us. And after enough years, you almost forget what your own voice sounds like. I've also learned something else. Life has a way of writing on us. Every disappointment, every success, every mistake, every loss, every person we loved, every person who hurt us. Those experiences leave marks. They should. That's part of living. But I've come to believe something important. Life writes on us, but it doesn't have to rewrite us. I know people who've been through things that would have broken most of us. Some lost people they loved. Some lost businesses. Some lost dreams they spent years building. Some came home from places and experiences they never really left behind. Those things are real. They matter. They leave scars. But I don't believe our hardest chapters have to become the title of our story. I think one of the greatest gifts of getting older is finally realizing we get to choose what happens next. Not because we can change yesterday. We can't. But because tomorrow is still waiting on us. And maybe that's why I don't worry so much anymore about keeping up appearances. I don't need people to think I've lived a perfect life. I haven't. I just hope I've lived an honest one. If one of my children asked me, what's the best thing about getting older? I think I'd smile and tell them this. It isn't that life gets easier, because sometimes it doesn't. It isn't that the pain disappears. Sometimes it doesn't. It's that you finally realize most of the things you spent years worrying about were never the things that mattered most. The things that matter usually look very ordinary while they're happening. Like loading groceries into the car while talking to your son or daughter. Watching the sunset without feeling like you should be somewhere else. A cup of coffee before the day in the house wakes up. A family dinner. Laughing until your stomach hurts. Watching your child discover something for the very first time. Sitting quietly on the porch with someone you love. Some of those moments don't look that important until one day they're the memories that you cherish the most. They are treasures. So maybe getting older isn't about becoming someone new. Maybe it's about finding your way back to the person you were before life convinced you that you had to be someone else. And if retirement gives us anything, maybe it gives us the quiet to finally hear that person's voice again. Now that's retirement reality. What do you think? Has getting older changed who you are? Let me know. Or has it helped you rediscover who you've been all along? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And if these conversations mean something to you, I'd be honored if you would like and subscribe and join us. Until the next time, remember, life writes on all of us, but it doesn't have to rewrite us. See you next time. Bye.